be a significant moment when the leader of Her Majesty's opposition breaks with protocol to offer a critical view of the future head of state in quite this way. And it comes after sustained criticism of the tour, which a vociferous group of critics said looked increasingly anachronistic and out of touch. So, on the day when we saw the Queen at Westminster Abbey, looking frail and emotional at one stage, we'll reflect on that story with David Starkey at the top of this hour, does Sir Keir Starmer have a point? Might it be that Meghan and Harry, with their soft focus, I can feel Kathy Gintill's hackles rising right next to me, Harry and Meghan, with their soft focus social media platitudes, maybe they offer a model for monarchy that should be copied after all? Our debate today then, was the Caribbean Royal Tour a turning point for the British monarchy? Joining me for this debate, Amy Nickell, the author and commentator, and Sunil Sharma, who is Chief Operating Officer at Conservative Friends of the Commonwealth, and the first time I've talked to Sunil. So we'll start with you, if you don't mind, Sunil Sharma, on this one. Was the Caribbean Tour a turning point, or just another successful royal tour as far as you're concerned?
Good afternoon. I don't think it necessarily is a turning point at all. I don't think it will be the first time the royal tour has run into difficulties, and I don't think it will be the last. I think, if anything, it highlights the sort of changes that's going on across the world in relation to the conversation of monarchy. We saw it in Australia in the 90s, where it ended up being a referendum which they voted in favour of keeping the monarchy. So I don't see it as a massive turning point. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about the monarchy and the Commonwealth and the role it plays. I think that the majority are republics. 5 even have their own monarchs. So I don't necessarily see this as a massive change.
Amy Nickell, if we can just start with the photograph we're introducing, and many of our viewers will have seen it, our listeners I'm sure have seen it too, in the Land Rover. It was, shades of 1950s pith helmets and dusty airports in days of empire. There was something slightly retro about what they were wearing almost, but they were in the Land Rover because the Jamaican army said that's where they wanted them. It's an efficient way of showing a couple of people to a large crowd safely. They were told what to do.
I think that this whole tour has been a charm offensive with very little charm, and it's been a total own goal for the royal family. And I think the photo that you've highlighted today is just adding more reason to have that the criticism is going to be laid on for the royal tour. And I hate that it's happened today, when we've seen Prince Philip's memorial service and beautiful imagery of the Queen. And it has to be said that the service that she has contributed to the country will never ever be recreated. And I think that this is a turning point. The Queen's coming to the end of her life, I think it's safe to say, and the current state of the royal family with the younger royals, and particularly highlighted by the royal tour, this is a turning point for the worse. And it's been a nod to a bad history. And I think it's the first time that the country has spoken openly about what really happened with the Caribbean legacy. Usually we'll hear things like, we leave it to the country to sort it out. Now we're having real conversations about the moral, ethical, legal case for reparations. For the first time, I don't think we've had that discussion really before in this country.
We've had it. I mean,